Everybody's excited about Superman 2. Let's see what Emergency Awesome has to say. Yep.
Welcome back, everyone. Big surprise, James Gunn just formally announced Superman 2 will be titled Man of Tomorrow, and it's being released July 27th, 2027.
It is a big surprise, because he pretty much told us we weren't getting a Superman sequel.
Little while
We're getting 4 Superman family saga movies.
Before the Batman 2 comes out in the Matt Reeves universe with Robert Pattinson. So we're going to get a Superman movie and a Batman movie in the same year, even though technically they're not meant to be connected. But because of the official preview artwork of it that James Gunn shared, it confirms a lot of theories about what the actual villain of the movie is going to be. It now does seem like it's going to be Superman and Lex Luthor in his power suit from the comics, teaming up against Brainiac.
Yeah, and there's several shots, so it's very likely that we will see Lex Luthor in his power suit. I have some concerns about it. I'll be doing a video later today on some concerns. It'll be at the end screen if I've already made it. If I haven't made it, just wait, and it'll come out. But I do believe we're going to get Lex in that war suit.
David Cornswit, Nicholas Hoult, all the other big DC actors from the Superman movie, and other people too, like Grant Gustin, The Flash, were also reacting to the official announcement.
Yeah.
So we'll break it all down, because there was some separate evidence that Brainiac would be the next big villain of whatever Superman 2 was going to be. We didn't know it was going to be titled Man of Tomorrow. Now this is just the confirmation. Just because the movie is coming out so close to the Batman 2 with Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson, I don't expect to see full-on Batman show up during Man of Tomorrow, but maybe more Gotham City, more Batman teasers in the background.
Right.
There's a lot to unpack here, just because of the official artwork that James Gunn did reveal. Basically, the official preview before their first real big trailer.
Now, on that shot, you can't see this here, but Superman has a screwdriver. But what you can't see is down at the feet of Luthor, there's some bolts on the floor, which could imply that he helped him build that, or that he's sabotaging it. So there's evidence of some sort of team up or something going on. Or Jim Lee just could have been having some fun. I don't know.
There were so many people asking James Gunn during the first Superman movie if Lex was going to wear a power suit.
That suit was real?
There were so many people.
Are you kidding me?
Reveal basically the official preview before their first real big trailer.
That suit was real in that movie? Guys, of all the CGI and Superman complaints that people had, I thought the movie looked sharp, it looked great. The only complaint I had was how that suit looked, the Hammer of Baravia suit. You're telling me it's real? Like, I had no idea that thing was real. There's got to be a CGI, doll or whatever for it that was used a lot up close, because I could not believe that thing was real. No way.
So many people asking James Gunn during the first Superman movie if Lex was going to wear a
Look
power
at that.
suit.
That looks totally different. Why would you even need a fake doll up close for that if you have that suit? Like,
now this just confirms, yeah, he's going to be in that power suit pretty soon. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. If you didn't see the news, you have no idea what's going on. As of this morning, me posting this video, James Gunn formally announced that Man of Tomorrow would be the next big Superman movie.
Right. And that Man of Tomorrow title, it's very possible that Man of Tomorrow might not be for, even though Superman is the Man of Tomorrow, it might not be for Superman. It might be, Lex trying to put himself as the Man of Tomorrow. Who knows? I'm not sure.
Previously, he said it wouldn't be a normal type of sequel, like just Superman in a smaller movie. It'd actually be a bigger crossover super family type of movie. So it just raised all kinds of theories about...
Which is strange. If he was acting like we weren't even getting something like that, why would Superman and Lex be the front and center? Is it a movie about Lex? I wouldn't really like that. Lex was very unlikable. A lot of people said they loved Nicholas Hoult and all that. I thought he did great. But I didn't like him in the movie, and I prefer Michael Rosenbaum. Like, I thought his Lex was great, very animated series, but it wasn't something that I want to see like a whole bunch of. You know what I'm saying?
Who would be in the movie, like Supergirl going to be teaming up with Superman if they were calling it
as a main character focus, that is.
For a family movie. At the time, there weren't a whole lot of theories about Lex Luthor's role in the movie. This just confirms that he's going to be a main character again, but not going to be a straight-up villain, just like he was in the first movie.
Well, eventually he will be. This is the only picture of those pictures where it doesn't look like they're together. This looks like they're against each other.
You remember at the end of the movie, he was sent to Belle Reve Prison and he's chilling out there. So it sounds like they're also borrowing a little bit from All-Star Superman again, like he borrowed from All-Star Superman for the first movie.
Yeah, because in All-Star Superman, he's in jail, and then later comes the powered-up Lex.
There are a number of scenes during that original story and during the movie that they did based on that story where you see Lex Luthor just chilling out in prison, not worried or bothered at all because of all the plans he's making.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
much.
Superman going to prison as Clark Kent to interview him.
Everything to Lex is basically just another obstacle. That's about all it is. It's not like it's over.
What would you do if you had his powers?
Help people?
You probably would.
Yeah, that was actually a really good scene. I love the part where he's going to write down and Lex is like, "What are you scribbling over here?" And he's like, "Lex, it's shorthand." You know, as a reporter, I never learned shorthand. I used to be a reporter, but it does. It looks like alien language.
Now, the reason in that story why he gets out of prison and what he does when he gets out of prison is very different. Obviously, it's going to be different for the Man of Tomorrow movie that James Gunn is doing, making it seem like they actually team up against Brainiac. But it seems like what they're teasing is that the threat of Brainiac and what else is happening in the movie is just too much for Superman to deal with himself. So they turn to Lex Luthor for some solutions, but he's still...
I don't like the way he worded that, because that was one of the problems people had with the Superman movie, is that Superman always needed help. I mean, it could be that, Lex's intellect comes in very handy here, or that Lex owns and operates and takes care of a lot of the things that Brainiac's manipulating. You never know.
Chilling out in prison. This is probably one of the ways that Lex Luthor wins back.
And yes, you can own and operate things from prison.
The public and gets them to like him again. Because remember, everybody hates him. Everybody's turned on him at the end of the first Superman movie because of all the shady stuff he did. But this provides a really big opportunity for him to be a hero in the world's eyes and win them back. If you think about...
I wonder if the suit is going to be the way it is in all the renditions, where even the drawing of Jim Lee, it doesn't make any physical sense. His arms would only go down to like the elbow there, and like his knees, his feet would, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if it'll be like that.
That Lex Luthor would also want to get his hands on some of Brainiac's tech as well, too, because it's so much more advanced than Superman's Kryptonian tech. This is also a really good reason for the engineer to come back, because she can interface with technology. What's going to happen if she tries to interface with Brainiac's technology? The actual artwork that he released here is actually based on stuff that Jim Lee...
See if we can see those bolts at the bottom for you real quick.
The actual...
See in the bottom left, underneath Lex's feet, there's 2 screws on the ground. And Superman has a screwdriver. Tell me what you think that means. It could mean that he's helped him build it. It could mean that he's sabotaging it. The look that Superman has on his face, it could mean that he's, got something up his sleeve. I don't know. It also could just be Jim Lee going, I'm going to have some fun with this, because after all, he's kind of got that tenure thing going on. You know what I mean?
Artwork that he released here is actually based on stuff that Jim Lee and Mitch Gerads did separately. Notice that they're comic book accurate looks, like he's wearing his comic book accurate Superman suit from the movie, but it's also...
That's not baggy enough, but yeah.
Based on a lot of the classic art of Superman and Lex Luthor in his power suit from the comics. Like, the power suit is not a new thing.
No.
It just looks like the one that Jim Lee and Mitch Gerads drew in this picture, because...
I wish it went around the back of his neck better. That looks like it kind of goes low.
Superman's costume is movie accurate, is also designed to be more what it'll look like in the actual movie itself, Man of Tomorrow. There's still a lot of time before the movie comes out, so the price...
You're telling me that was real? It looked so... Guys, put it in the comments. Am I crazy? Did that suit look fake to y'all in the movie? In the movie, every shot of that suit to me, when he lands, when he's walking into the portal, when he's talking to, Metropolis, it just looked so fake to me. It looked incredibly fake. It was a real suit? That's crazy.
Still in the stages where they're doing pre-production
Look how
and
fake
developing
that looks.
what everything is going to look like, all the new gear in Brainiac's gear.
I'm blown away. Must be that they're not using green screen anymore. They're using those LED screens, so the lighting... Maybe I don't know.
One of the big questions, what the new version of movie Brainiac is going to look like in the DCU. There have been a number of attempts at Brainiac in the animated movies, in the live-action TV shows before, too, like Smallville did a version of Brainiac.
I haven't seen Krypton yet. Supposedly that Brainiac is pretty creepy.
Krypton probably did the biggest version of live-action Brainiac that we've seen on screen so far. And obviously, most people think of Injustice 2 Brainiac, just because he's so big during that story. One of the reasons people thought that Brainiac was going to be the main villain a while ago was because there were some behind-the-scenes featurettes for the first Superman movie where James Gunn was talking at length about his big super fan.
Yeah, there, though, Lex is not present, but we've got the super family. Of course, that's one part of a storyboard. Nobody, I mean, you could have part of the storyboard where none of them are in there.
Family team-up movie, like his next big team-up movie, and there was a lot of Brainiac artwork in those behind-the-scenes. So now everybody is wondering if this is confirmation that Brainiac is going to be the main villain of this next big Superman movie. Just seems like a really easy slam dunk.
As a kid, I was really attracted especially to the Superman family comics, with Superman and Supergirl and Krypto and the whole gang.
There's a bunch to unpack here because he also talks a lot about Batman and being in Batman Brave and the Bold. People are wondering, is he talking about Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson, or are they talking about Batman Brave and the Bold? We will dig into that later in the video.
He looks kind of skinny in that shot.
Too.
See you for the next one.
But one of the funny things is that when they actually filmed this behind-the-scenes featurette where they're actually talking about the next big movie, like David Cornswood's talking about, see you in the next one, see you in the Batman movie, James Gunn is talking about doing the Super Family team-up movie with Superman in it. They actually filmed most of this stuff back when they were actually filming the Superman movie because this is all on the sets for the Superman movie. They used it in some of the early trailers, not all the early trailers, but there are a couple of scenes that look familiar to those early trailers. So it actually means that
What's he saying there?
James Gunn was planning on doing this Super Family team-up movie, possibly using Brainiac as the villain, many, many months ago. Like, this wasn't a recent thing. He actually explained that when he was writing the Superman movie, originally, Brainiac was going to be one of the main villains, if not the main villain. It sounds like at a certain point he just felt like the movie got too big and decided to refocus on Lex Luthor as the actual...
What is that from? Is that from the Krypton show?
...main villain of the movie, because he had all this stuff with Ultraman going on and all this stuff with the Justice Gang. So there's just too much stuff to juggle to also then try to do Brainiac's origin story and include all that stuff.
If you want me to watch the Krypton show as a reaction for this channel, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking about doing I've been talking about it a while and not pulling the trigger, doing a membership thing like a, Patreon or something where I react to more like actual shows I haven't seen, which, I've seen tons, like Smallville and Lois and Clark and some of the George Reeves, but there's a lot of George Reeves I haven't seen. I haven't seen Krypton. I haven't seen all the seasons of Superboy. It would be fun I haven't seen season 4 of Superman and Lois. I watched them with the seasons every year, and then when 4 came around, I had a lot going on in life and couldn't really catch it.
There would also probably be more crossover characters like Justice Gang characters coming back for this Super Family crossover movie. If they're going to do Brainiac as a big villain, it would make sense that you include more of the big metahuman heroes. Yet another opportunity for James Gunn to bring his friends back in movies and give them awful haircuts again. When Henry Cavill was still Superman and they were still planning on doing Man of Steel 2, Brainiac was supposed to be the main villain of that for a while, but there were a couple different versions and a couple different directors that came onto the project.
I'm still sad we didn't get to see that Man of Steel 2, guys. I liked Man of Steel. It had a lot of problems. What I thought was going to be done was those problems would be rectified in Man of Steel 2. Then we got Batman vs. Superman, and we dived further into those problems. But I really was excited to see a Man of Steel 2 apart from Zack Snyder. I really was.
Different pitches for different types of stories. So it just sounds like a lot of different directors, James Gunn, Zack Snyder, other directors, have had ideas for using Brainiac as a big movie villain for Superman, but various things along the way came along to prevent that from happening, particularly in Henry Cavill's case. And now we just come to James Gunn trying to do his version of that. One of the other big reasons to use Brainiac as a team-up villain for Superman and Supergirl is because he's such a big part of her origin story as well, too. A lot of you play the Injustice 2 game. He's literally the intro to that game, with her actually being on Krypton when Brainiac comes to try and bottle it up and take it. So it's a little bit different because she's from Argo City in the comics, and she's going to be from Argo City in the movies, but you kind of get the idea. Brainiac...
Is she going to be from Argo City in the movies? I hadn't really heard that. Maybe when I finish reading this over here, I will, in fact, understand if she is from Argo City in the movie or not.
Has a long history with Kryptonians.
Though I don't expect it to be an exact Woman of Tomorrow copy.
Supergirl knows all about him, whereas Superman does not, because his pod came to Earth before all that was going down.
Okay, yeah, that is creepy. Y'all have told me that the Brainiac on Krypton is creepy, and after seeing... I've never actually heard his voice. That was indeed creepy. Indeed.
There have been a lot of different reboots of DC's continuity in their backstories for a lot of the characters, particularly for Brainiac. But the big story that people mostly point to when they talk about Superman versus Brainiac is Superman Brainiac.
Yes, that's a good story, guys. It leads into the Superman New Krypton story. That is one of my favorite all-time Superman stories. However, it's not my favorite, top. There's a lot of different artists, a lot of different writers going through the whole storyline, but this one is just one set. Superman Brainiac, really good, really good. I enjoyed that one a lot. And man, that I hope that is the basis.
New Krypton story, which could actually pay off some of the things that happened during the first Superman movie in the reason why Lex Luthor was trying to turn the world against Superman, because he was so worried about Superman's message from Jor-El and Laura about taking over the planet, creating a new Krypton on Earth. All those jokes about the super harem. James Gunn also revealed that the message from
I like the super harem jokes. They even made them in the movie.
Jor-El was authentic. Lex Luthor didn't doctor it in any way. He said all the things that he says in the message when they broadcast it around the world. The idea is that Superman was wrestling with his legacy in the movie. He thought that he was an angel as a little kid, like, oh, I'm an angel come to Earth to help everyone, when really he finds out later in the movie that technically he was more like a demon come to Earth.
Yeah, that line, people acted like he was, giving up. He wasn't giving up. It wasn't what he thought he was. He literally thought he was there to save people, but he was there to rule. And it really bothers him because it just, helped to solidify everything he was doing. He was obviously good. He wasn't giving up. He was just broken.
This is actually the reason why the movie was initially titled Superman Legacy, because Superman was wrestling with his legacy during the movie.
Yep.
There are a lot of questions that
that's why I think Man of Tomorrow is not a code name. It's a working title, which means it should give us some insight into what the movie actually is about. I really think that's going to have a lot to do with Lex and Superman. I'm hoping that when he said it wasn't a Superman-centric, the sequel, it really just means that, the story is focused on maybe two people instead of focused on... I don't know. I really have no idea, guys. Put it in the comments what you think.
We're going to follow up on that plot. Like, are they going to do any of the Mr. Oz...
I don't like the way that looks. I don't like it. I'm a Trunks guy. Crotches look very weird when there's no trunks. It needs something more to break it up than besides a yellow belt. Why would you wear a belt with a unitard anyway?
Storyline, will Jor-El actually be more of a villain in this DCU of James Gunn's as it develops? But the way that James Gunn talked about it is Superman actually reckoned with the message is fully...
I don't like how high his belt is, I will say that, but I like it.
As you could reckon with it by the end of this first Superman movie. So it doesn't actually sound like the sequel movie is going to dig too much deeper into him thinking about the message itself. But some of the consequences of the message can still continue to manifest in different ways in the story. Based on the progression right now, at the end of the Superman movie, Supergirl shows up to pick up Krypto. She's still drunk. That was a teaser for the Supergirl movie based on the Woman of Tomorrow.
That suit, by the way, is a different suit than she's wearing in the Superman clip. But guys, this shot really got me excited for the movie. On her hands, she's got the paint so that you know that she did the graffiti herself. I can't wait to see the rebellious version they give us in there. I'm gonna read Woman of Tomorrow soon. I gotta finish Absolute Superman first, Volume 1, but...
comic book,
I'll
where
let y'all
she goes
know.
to another system with the red sun, where she's capable of getting drunk because of the way their powers work. Probably the other big teaser that they have for that is Jason Momoa coming back...
is 16 pixels in black and white.
...back as Lobo.
What a teaser.
...during the movie. He was not in the original comic book, Woman of Tomorrow.
It's like an 8-bit Jason, if we want to call it Jason. I really can't tell.
They're actually basing this on. They're basically slotting him in, and it sounds like the main villain will hire him instead of just random mercenaries because he's so effective.
I don't know why. He seems a little Jack Sparrow to me there.
...against Kryptonians. He's been one of the characters in the past that they've shown has gone toe-to-toe with Superman. It is totally possible.
I've said this before. When Jason Momoa popped up for Aquaman, I was like, why is Lobo going to be Aquaman? Like, I already had it in my head, Lobo, and I think a lot of y'all did too, but it makes sense. I'm so glad he's going to be Lobo. I'm very excited about that casting.
He's been one of the characters in the past that they've shown has gone toe-to-toe with Superman. It is totally possible.
Plus, Jason Lobo, Momoa gets people to theaters. He does. He gets people to theaters.
That he also shows up in this super family movie, Superman 2, whatever they wind up calling it, whatever the subtitle is.
On the office, and I was just like, well, do you know who you're going to play? And I'm like, yeah, Lobo. Yeah. Of course, he's the only one that can fight Batman and Superman.
But it actually sounds like what's going to happen is after her movie, she returns to Earth because they did cast human parents for her. It sounds like they're going to be human parents. They didn't clarify that. They could be her parents from Argo City. So it just sounds like she defeats the villain of her movie, then makes her way back to planet Earth with Krypto. Then all of a sudden, Brainiac shows up on planet Earth to bottle it up.
It could be, yeah. It could be a prequel to Superman, so to speak. Not really a prequel for Superman, but, events before that movie.
There are multiple moments like that along the way that they can actually tease Brainiac picking up on. Like, he could pick up some of the signals coming from Earth, and that could alert him to come and check out what's going on.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I talk about Superman all the time. If you want Superman, subscribe. And don't forget to check out my store in the description where I have Superman merch. Doesn't cost you any extra. It just helps support the channel.
Kryptonians are incapacitated. Complete the extraction.
It's still pretty early days. There's a lot he hasn't revealed about which other new characters he's going to introduce that we haven't seen before. So just wide open for theory crafting. Everybody let me know which other people you want to see show up during this.
Honestly, I would love to see Superboy. That'd be cool. But my number one pick for a new character in the DCU would be Steel. I gotta have Steel. And I don't mean Shaquille O'Neal Steel. That rhymes. But I love Steel. Steel is like my favorite character underneath Superman. I also like Gambit from X-Men. Always have. Don't know why.
The other really big reminder is that we're in the middle of Peacemaker Season 2 episodes. There's probably going to be a bunch more Superman crossover during that. I'm doing episode videos week to week. My episode 3 video will post later this week.
Gotcha.
Everybody click here for all those Peacemaker episodes.
Yeah, guys, that's pretty good basis roundabout, logical discussion around it. Later today, I'm going to be talking about my concerns. I have quite a few of them. And, just be looking out for that. And don't forget to watch one of these. It will be here if I've already come out with it. So.